To me, the Tipperary Supporters Club, I think, are one of the most important organisations that will ever exist in Tipperary. From our point of view, our preparation would not be as good as it is if it wasn't for the Tipperary Supporters Club. We wouldn't be able to do the training, have the facilities that we have, go off on a training weekend or an overnight or wherever it is without this Tipperary Supporters Club. And I think the value of those trips and training days are massive. And if it wasn't for the Tipperary Supporters Club, that wouldn't be possible. I can honestly say that, like, I'm a member of the Tipperary Supporters Club myself, and I know that when I give money towards the Tipperary Supporters Club, it's going to help me, and it's going to help the players, and going to help the team. And that's the most important thing. I think for them, they make it clear to everyone, this is for the players, and it's for them to improve themselves and improve their performance. That's their only motive. And they've made that clear since they've been in existence almost 30 years ago. And for us, I mean, without them, God only knows what kind of way we'd be dealing with training or whatever it is,
Yeah, the sports club, they do so much for us, behind the scenes, and they're constantly there to helping us and trying to provide for us, and look, it costs money to run the county teams, not just the senior team, but them all through the minor, and I suppose it's great for us to be able to put a bit of silver on the table for the likes of the Tipperary Supporters Club, and it kind of shows that what their efforts are and the money they're providing us, the hard work that sending us to training camps and weekends away, it reaped the rewards, that time. That Sunday in September when we managed to put the minor and the senior on the table that night.
Oh, the Supporters Club is massive for us. They're a massive support to what we're doing, to what we're trying to achieve. Without the Tipperary Supporters Club, without the county board, with everyone working together like that, it just, things don't happen. Like, we can have a great setup, you can have some of the best players that are in the country, you can have all that, but if you don't have the support to give us the chance to train in the best facilities, to do everything, to be kitted out properly, to be as professional as we can be. Without them, the show can't really go on, and you can't really thrive in an environment where you don't have all the things that the Tipperary Supporters Club can provide for you.
Well, it's hugely important. It's hugely important, and great credit, needs to be acknowledged. Should go to the people who make it happen year in, year out. Because these guys are with us through thick and thin. And 2016, yeah, we've been successful. The last time we were successful was 2010. There's a huge amount of work, and I know firsthand because John and his team, they're really, really strong guys. They're constantly thinking outside the box in terms of how to rope in more Tipperary supporters that, obviously anyone who gets involved in the Tipperary Supporters Club tend to stay there for a long number of years. But there's a body of people out there whom we haven't touched, or we haven't appealed to, or we haven't been able to bring within the circle really, and they're constantly trying to cast the net a little bit further out, and because there's a real good feel good factor about supporting Tipp at the moment, but we've got to capitalise that, and it brings fresh thinking, fresh ideas, because we're heading away on holiday, which is fitting for the team at the end of December, and it costs a huge amount of money, and supporting the team costs a huge amount of money, because in fairness to this Tipperary Supporters Club, since it was Babs's brainchild way back in 1987, Tipperary have wanted for nothing. Anything that the players need by way of medical support or any kind of support that's required, if it's going to make the Tipperary team better, the funds are made available, and it's not always within the remit of the county board, and we have a really, really good county board, and they're very supportive, but they have a lot of teams to look after, through all the codes. Obviously the whole club structure here in Tipperary depends upon them. All the inter-county teams, both hurling and football, depend upon them. So what the Tipperary Supporters Club were able to do for us is something outside of the norm, and thankfully they've never ever they've never ever said no to us. They've always been able to support whatever the ask is, and we at our end we try to make sure that the asks are reasonable, and that there's a tangible benefit, or we hope that there'll be a tangible benefit for the spend, but look, it's just in a really good place at the moment, but that's not an accident. It's winning or success is certainly not an accident. It's well planned, it's well thought out, and you look, we got it that little bit of, you know, that little bit of touch of green that we needed this year to get us over the line.